welcome to Tucker Carlson tonight. The problem with assessing political candidates is you never really know what they're like until they get a hold of power, and by then, of course, it's too late. The decent ones wield power with restraint and humility. They understand the limits of their own wisdom, human wisdom, and they also understand the inevitability of unintended consequences, which are the rule. They know they won't be in charge forever, and so they tread lightly. But the bad ones, they go crazy, and the more power they get, the crazier they go. Power is the drug they've been searching for. That's why they went into politics in the first place, not to help you or their fellow citizens or to improve our society, but to fill the empty space inside themselves. These are profoundly damaged people. Not a single one of them has a functional relationship with their fathers, not one. Unfortunately, people like that run a lot of this country right now. They've never had more power at any time in our history. As this pandemic recedes, it's becoming clear that cities and states that have cautiously reopened did the right thing. They're reaping the benefits of that. Nowhere has the virus surged back. Hospitals haven't been overwhelmed. Death rates have not spiked. The time for mass quarantines is past. And yet in some places, and this is the measure of bad leadership, lockdowns are becoming more restrictive, not less, and much, much weirder. In Illinois, for example, J.B. Pritzker, an aging ne'er-do-well who bought the governor's title a year and a half ago for $172 million in inherited money, has issued yet another emergency order. This time, Pritzker vows to imprison business owners if they try to reopen. Meanwhile, in New York City, pothead Mayor Bill de Blasio has announced that anyone who dares to swim will be yanked out of the water, of course, because the virus spreads so easily in the ocean. Pothead Bill. In Los Angeles, as we told you on Friday night, the mayor there has told beachgoers they can walk on the wet sand, totally fine, but not the dry. Dry sand is dangerous. On Long Island, Nassau County Executive Laura Curran has banned doubles tennis. Watch.
I will fill you in on what those rules are. Singles only, no doubles. Only every other court, you have to have a court between players, between people, sets of people playing. Every player, unless they're from the same household, has to bring their own tennis balls so that you don't touch other people's tennis balls.
Singles only, no doubles. She wants to know that in Nassau County, it is illegal to touch other people's tennis balls. This is what happens when neurotic, dumb people get power. They do neurotic, dumb things and then throw you in jail if you complain about it. Thankfully, in spots around the nation, people are starting to remember that this is America. Just because morons like J.B. Pritzker would like to stage a coup d'etat does not mean that the rest of us have to play along. Several sheriffs in Illinois have now announced they will no longer enforce J.B. Pritzker's orders. They're too stupid. They're absurd. They're also unconstitutional. Many others, individual Americans, are standing up for themselves in quieter ways. Here's how we know. Because it controls your smartphone, Apple can track travel across the country. Now that's scary, but in this case it's interesting. Here's why. Over this past weekend, for the first time since the lockdowns began in mid-March, nationwide driving trends were well above the baseline average. And that means Americans are voting with their feet. They're ignoring the orders, they're breaking their isolation.
I live in Carpinteria, California, and I do notice people out more by quite a lot. But the authoritarians in California just keep tightening the screws. Over the past, I think it was a weekend ago, I don't know who made the call, maybe the mayor, I don't know, in Carpinteria, they restricted parking next to the beach. I think it's limited to an hour or two. It just gets worse. They're not loosening up, they're tightening it up, they're flexing their muscles, and just miserable people. And the governor of California, I'm sure it was due to him, there's a frontage road along the ocean between Carpinteria, or between Rincon and Ventura, and I think it was three or 4 weeks ago, the governor prohibited all parking. It's Caltrans signs along the road there. They're just sad, miserable people. To me, it doesn't affect me personally because I'm retired now, and I mostly ride a bike, but it's just so sad that they won't even let people go to the beach. Anything to spite the people, to just show their authority. It really irritates me when we should be loosening things up. And anyway, I just have no words to express my irritation with these authoritarians that just seize power and just stick their thumb in your eye. Okay, that's all.